Horny, trashy MILF. Stone cold MILF. MILF times 100.
Hi, welcome to Famous Cast Words. I'm Lynn Marie Rosenberg. I am here today at the home of actor, singer, and devised theater maker Amber Gray. You might know Amber from her Tony-nominated performance as Persephone in Broadway's Hadestown, which also itself won 8 Tonys. You might not know her from her aggressive performances of Seal's hits from the early 90s in the back of my mother's Oldsmobile. Good morning.
Morning. Can't take you seriously.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
On your Tony nomination.
Thank you.
We have known each other for 27 years, I think.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
27 years.
I've always been good at math. So we went to middle school together. You arrived at Wayland Middle School as an Army brat.
Yep, not in style, that's how I arrived.
But I was thinking today, if there's ever a time to arrive new at a school, it's when all the kids are starting middle school and converging from various elementary schools. Like, you weren't the only new kid at that point.
And everyone feels, the deep shame of adolescence.
Oh, yeah. The horrible, horrible experience of being 11.
Yeah.
So you were recently nominated for a Tony. I want to talk a little bit about the Tony experience, because it's a 6-week period, basically, right? This is the first time that I've had a very close friend nominated, and the first time I've experienced just how the incredible level of stress that those 6 weeks can put you under.
You're doing the show 8 times a week.
Yeah.
You are doing press for the show proper and press as a nominee, right?
Yeah.
As an individual nominee. So you're doing morning shows, you're waking up at 4 a.m. for a 5:30 a.m. call where you're teching something for an hour till 6:30, and then you don't go on till 8. Then you have to do press junket things throughout the day, and the amount of singing you do, over-singing, the lack of sleep you get, it's really intense for 6 weeks.
Yeah. These are all the things I feel like people don't realize. They go see the show, it's this big, beautiful, splashy show, you're wonderful in it, the set's incredible, everything's incredible. They don't realize the
It's
level.
a real athletic event.
Yeah.
And you have to, we already live our lives carefully so that we can be ready for that event at the most 2 times a day. But then when you're adding, you figure we're there 40 hours a week performing. When you're adding another 40 hours of work where you're also singing on top of that, it's just not how a voice works. People get sick during award season for a reason, because you can't overuse your voice that much,
Yeah. I wonder also, because Hadestown, of course, is a brand new piece of theater. It's not like it's invented its own wheel, right? It's its own creation.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the press was even more intense because of that, because you're trying to get a community to understand what this new piece of theater is.
Yes, I think that's true. I think especially for the producers, we knew the audience response was great, but there was still, I think, a bit of a paranoia that we still had to keep promoting it, even though the audience response was great, because we weren't quite sure that the community at large felt that way about it,
Let's not talk about hard times. Pull the wine, it's summertime. Right now we're living it. Living it up. My brother right here, we're living it. Well, I'm living it. Living it up on top. Who makes the summer sun shine bright? That's right, Persephone. Who makes the fruit of the vine get ripe? Persephone. That's me. Who makes the flowers bloom again in spite of a man? Who is doing the best she can? Persephone, that's who.
We have a very special segment for you that we've created. And by we, I mean I, because I'm the only one who could create this.
No, it means you found photos from the past.
I did. I
Terrifying.
like to call this segment Amber Guesses What's Happening in the Photo.
Oh, okay.
I don't actually know what's happening in this photo. All you have to tell me is what the building is behind us.
What if I didn't know?
You know.
Okay, well, this is the Wayland High School Little Theater.
Yeah.
Look at our little cherubic faces. It's when we had meat in the face. So beautiful. I was dyeing my hair back then, and it came out a bit too black.
Okay.
Oh, I dyed all sorts of colors. I used to bleach the tips, peanut buttery.
Peanut buttery. If there's one thing I don't ever want my hair to be referred to as, it's peanut butter.
Oh, we are about to sing for Homegirl, Cutie Patootie, Shorty, Country Pop.
Shania Twain.
Shania Twain. We were her backup gospel singers.
Which, by the way, when I first moved to New York City, that was on my resume as like a credit.
Hell yeah.
That I sang one song backup for Shania Twain.
Oh, Lord. If I stared at the clothes long enough, I would remember.
This is in my freshman year dorm.
Why was I so tan? I went to tanning beds.
You did?
Yeah, I was prescribed to go to tanning beds in late middle school to clear up eczema. And then I just loved them because they made my skin look better.
Right.
And they cause cancer and wrinkles.
You have 2 little ones. How has it been navigating the schedule of a Broadway schedule with being a mom and then in addition to that, the Tony schedule and being with your kids?
Hadestown alone has let me be postpartum for 2 productions and pregnant for 1, which is no small thing, man, because even just like on a logistical front, you are taking in or letting out costumes once a week.
Yeah.
They're still taking in my costume because once you start doing a show 8 times a week, you just lose a ton of weight and they have to refit the costumes. But, and I'm nursing still, right? So I pump and who knows what size I'm gonna be throughout the day. It's like a really tricky thing to design for even. Always during rehearsals, I don't even ask. I just, every 3 hours go into the corner and start pumping. But I bought a pump that doesn't have to be plugged into the wall. You can charge it and walk around with it. And I have my little robe and nobody cares, and I just keep doing the scene. Or I'll sing from the corner if I'm not as needed or whatever. That kind of support is very, very rare. I've had lots of girlfriends get fired for way less because, there's legal language must always be able to fit the costume right in the contract. So they don't care why you don't fit the costume, but they will fire you for not being able to fit the costume anymore because you gained too much weight or you lost too much weight. It's messed up. During award season, forget about it. The extra promotional stuff, the extra press you have to do doing the show 8 times a week. And I have a sick kid who was in the hospital 3 times for 5-day stints. That's why my mom's here. It takes an army. My partner has been helping a ton, which, whatever. It's a weird thing to be like, I'm babysitting my kid, but he's had to pull a lot of extra weight because my schedule is the unforgivable one that there's zero flexibility there. And then my mom, I had a meltdown before Mother's Day and I was like, can I put you on a plane tomorrow? She was like, yeah. And I was like, do I have to buy your return ticket? She said no. So she's been here for 6 weeks. There was a day a photographer came and took photos of backstage life. And so at intermission, he was like, is everybody decent on the floor? I was like, oh yeah, I'm pumping, but yeah, it's not like you see anything, And he's a kid. He's 25. An amazing photographer. And he was like, oh, Amber, I'll send these ones to you. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? And then I realized he wasn't planning on submitting them to his editor as pieces to actually put into the world. And I was like, this is what I do every single intermission and have done since 2016, between the 2 kids. I'm like, you can put this into the world and this is just working motherhood. Lots of people do this, There's nothing weird here. And then the photo totally went viral on social media. I would love a moment when that photo does not go viral, when it's not empowering to people, it's just normal, right? And people were like, what's your agenda? I'm like, there's no agenda. 1/4 of the world are working mothers. It's just, this is normal life. And then people are like, you should promote that photo because there's a thing called an empathy vote during awards season.
What?
Which we don't have to get into, but yeah, that was advice given to me to make the photo go even more viral because of the empathy vote. And I'm like, I'm sorry, parenthood, no. I'm grateful I've gotten so much support, but I don't, it's not a card I'm playing, it's my life.
Yeah.
A
friend of mine once said, something has to be a thing before it cannot be a thing anymore.
Correct.
And I think that's the moment we're in with this photo.
That's
which
right. So I'm happy for that phase to help move that along, but I am not interested in it being a thing because it's just my life. There's nothing there's no agenda.
Yeah.
I probably got more text messages about that photo than I ever did about getting nominated for a Tony. I'm just like, it's all comical to me.
So now we're going to look at some breakdown language. And of course, a breakdown is essentially a character description. And so this language is from real character descriptions from the entertainment industry. What I have here is some language that you may have encountered at some point, both as a mixed race person in the industry and as a mom. We're going to look at some mom language as well. When it comes to mixed ethnicity, the industry seems to have a particular fascination with not knowing what people are and all the ways to say it.
Indeterminate race, racially ambiguous, ethnically ambiguous. Ethnicity is ambiguous. Ambiguous ethnicity, ambiguously ethnic.
There are different spectrums of ethnicity to encompass, from the only just sort of.
Caucasian-ish with some ethnically ambiguous thrown in. Just a little paprika.
Just like toss it in. Yeah. Just like a chef's pinch, basically. To the opposite extreme.
He's as chiseled as he is ethnically ambiguous.
Horrible, and doesn't mean anything. Though sometimes I'm afraid it just won't be your turn.
What is this?
F.
F.
F ambiguous. It's just an abbreviation.
Oh my God. I just deflated.
I know.
Reads as Caucasian, not F ambiguous. Her look should be clean, brunette, as Caucasian as possible.
As a mom, your identity seems to be cut and dry.
Must have mom look.
Right down to your individual body parts.
Should have nice mom hands. I've got a ganglion cyst. I have some scars where my eczema used to be.
As a mom, you might have to play against type.
Looks like an individual. Not a stereotype of a mom.
That there's one commercial idea that we have of mom.
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 Means I straighten my hair.
Exactly. But lastly, the most popular word I found for moms in our industry isn't really a word so much as a charming little acronym.
Horny, trashy MILF. Stone cold MILF. MILF times 100.
One of the things that we've talked about in the past, and I wonder if you could talk about it a little bit now, is being mixed race in the industry and how that affects role availability and where you do and do not fit in.
I think, you know, it's funny because you and I have also talked a lot about like colorblind versus color conscious, and I have in recent years realized people throw those terms around for different reasons at different times, so it's like hard to say anymore.
Yeah.
But for me, I think the real beauty is making an effort to have the stage, the screen, look like the streets and making zero comment about it, right? Just letting people do their work. Just letting me be an actor. Luckily, the gigs I've had, it hasn't come up at all, and I'm just able to be myself. And in a lot of the jobs I get through an agent and through casting directors, it does specify, and it typically doesn't want me to be in the middle. It wants me to, I'm not white enough or I'm not black enough, you know?
Thank you so much for being here with me today.
My pleasure.
There is nothing that brings me more joy than the fact that after 27 years, we are still close and in the same industry and still working through it.
No.
Yeah, so I love you very much.
Love you, boo.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Take care of each other and be professional.